Here come the boys. Y'all ready to go swimming, baby? Come on. Give it up. Get out of that water. I tried telling y'all, it's swim lessons, baby.
Welcome back to Champion Week here on Swim Lessons, the podcast. My guests today, that's right, guests, are Coach Wilhelm and Andre Austin of Bismarck High. Really appreciate those two taking some time, and what a special interview it was. We got to talk with two of the great minds in AA basketball, and I enjoy it because you get this coach-player interview, and it was locker room talk mixed in with just great conversation. And what I mean by that is we got inside info on what Bismarck High is going to be like, and how Andre respects Coach and how Coach respects Andre. So I really appreciated those two taking some time, and I wish them the best of luck in the WDA. But Coach Wilhelm's the best, great friend of mine, and I really grew to like Andre. My sponsors today are the great and powerful PSP Network. It's game day. They are right now in the heart of tournament season. Make sure you check out their scheduled events on their website, psp.network, or on YouTube at PSP Network. And the big thing you have to do right now, folks, is go to www.psp.network. There you'll have a schedule and kind of a quick link of tournaments they have available. They've got both the WDA hockey tournaments, also Class B tournaments, Class A, and the AA WDA. Make sure you buy those and help support PSP. I'm going to be on the call for a few of them. And then we've got this really cool idea of doing this courtside thing that also I'm going to be a part of. So I'm stoked for that. So make sure you check out PSP Network. Nick Holberg does a great job. I'm stoked to be a part of that broadcast team. So check out PSP Network. Next up is Glosso Angus. Glosso Angus is a proud sponsor of Swim Lessons, the podcast. They're your premier source for registered Black Angus cattle since 1973. Glosso Angus cattle showcase dominance, durability, and docility, and they're able to thrive on the northern plains. Check them out. That's Glosso, Glasoe, Angus.com. Hey, folks, also make sure you check out Plains Window Cleaning, interior and exterior window cleaning on residential and commercial buildings throughout North Dakota. Call Jacob today at 701-609-0405. Again, that's Jacob Broughton at Plains Window Cleaning. And last but not least is River's Edge Bar and Grill, located in Williston, North Dakota. They're known for offering the best happy hour in town, providing unbeatable deals in a lively atmosphere. Guests can also enjoy a variety of entertaining activities, including bingo, trivia, and the very popular Name That Tune. Come on down to River's Edge for great drinks, great food, and great fun. Speaking of great fun, this was a great one, and I really enjoyed this one. I give you Coach Wilhelm and Dre Austin. Fellas, thanks for coming in today. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having us, man.
Of course.
Andre, let's start off with you. Fantastic player. You're heading to play college basketball next year. What has this year been like for you?
I mean, as you can see, we've had our ups and downs, but it's been fun. I love playing with all these guys. It's great people to have in the locker room, but, practices are competitive every day, so it's something you really love. I think we're starting to get there. We're looking a lot better. A lot of young guys too, so you can't expect to be perfect, but I think we have a great team, and I think we can do a lot of great things in the offseason coming up soon.
One of those young guys is your younger brother. What's it been like to play with your younger brother? That's got to be super special.
Yeah, it's fun, of course, but it's obviously tough because I got to make sure I focus on myself too, because I'm always wanting him to be perfect.
Yeah,
and focusing a lot on him and what he's doing, but I always got to work about myself a little bit too. Just make sure that I'm doing the right things too.
What's it like to have the guy to your right be your coach?
Makes things a lot easier, especially since I've been here for 4 years now. I know what he expects. I know what I got to do when I'm out there, and he's always on me, making sure I'm doing the right things too. So it makes it a lot easier.
Coach Wilhelm, it's good to see you again, brother.
You as well, my man.
Thanks for doing this.
Mm-hmm.
WDA, tough this year. You guys are kind of had some good wins, had some not so good games.
Mm-hmm.
Middle of the pack. We and you both know this about the game of basketball. It's who's peaking at the right time. How is the Demon basketball program doing?
Yeah, it's like always, the West region is tough, and top to bottom, you know that you're gonna have your hands full every night. And the second season in a row now, we started league play 0-2, and I think honestly, I've said it a couple different times this year, but it's partly the way we play. And when you want to play fast and you want to play with pace, it just takes time to develop the ability to do that and to get in shape and to have our guys' legs right and their minds right. And a lot of our guys being multi-sport athletes too, coming from football, it gets difficult to get yourself ready to go. So after those first two losses, we won 9 straight. and then dropped one to Minot and dropped one to Legacy. So sitting 13-4 right now, where we're sitting third in the West region. But I really feel like we're starting to play our best basketball. And I think early in my career, after a couple losses to start the season, or even 2 mid-season losses like we had to Minot and Legacy, I might have overreacted to it and tried to change stuff and tried to stray away from what we do well. And to honestly now, let's just get back to the basics. I tell these guys throughout the season, I think sometimes they roll their eyes at me. I don't care about wins and losses in the regular season. They don't matter. And like I said early in my career, I would have worried a lot more than that. But right now, you have to be good for 2 weeks. And how much better can you keep getting to get yourself ready for that West region in the state tournament? So I do feel like we're trending in the right direction. We had 2 awesome wins this week against St. Mary's and Jamestown.
Well, listen, bro, I've been, and Andre, this is a question for Coach Wilhelm. So I've been, and on a lot of my podcasts, I talk about your coaching style and how it's 5 in, 5 out, death by 1,000 cuts, if you will, with the full court press. I love it. And now other people are starting to do it. I mean, it's Jordan, the trendsetter, Wilhelm, if you will. I mean, we see Class B teams doing it. You're seeing a couple Class A teams. How has that been going this year with the 5 in, 5 out?
Again, it takes time throughout the season for our guys to buy into it. It's not easy to play 1 or 2 minutes at a time and then go to the bench.
Right.
Like when you start to heat up, and I think that was the big detractor that we had early on is how are you going to deal with your studs when they have to come to the bench more than the other team's studs? And one thing that you have to look at is we're playing 15 to 20 more possessions than anyone else is in our league. And when you're playing 24 minutes compared to 30 minutes that someone might be on a Century or a Legacy, our guys in 24 minutes are getting way more possessions than they are in those minutes. And plus, I think it's a freeing way to play when you just have to play as hard as you can. Like defensively, if you can sprint as hard as you can for 1 minute to 2 minutes at a time, you can be successful. And then also offensively, I think it's a freeing way too, because we want to play fast. We want to push the pace. I think 0 times in the last 6 years have I yanked someone for taking a bad shot. Like I want our guys to shoot. I want them to be confident. But it does get interesting once you get towards March, because another thing you preach is once you get to the West Region and state tournaments, you have to be good in the half court, offensively and defensively. So you spend the first month or 2 talking about pace and playing fast and playing aggressive. And then once you get to the second time through the league and everybody's seen you once, you need to adjust a little bit too. Like we want to play fast. We want to be in your face. We want to turn teams over. But when you're not turning teams over at as high of a rate the second time through the league, and then once you get in the big court at the Civic Center, you got to be good in the half court. So definitely when I have leaders like him and Jagger Meshke and Ross Fisher and Grady Swanson and the guys that we have that have been with us for 3 or 4 years now, saying all those things in the locker room and talking about all those things away from practice, I think that's why where you have that success. And the coolest part for me is we come down at halftime now every game, and I've had teams in the past where when I walk into the locker room, it's dead silent. When I walk into the locker room, whether we're up 30, down 10, it's a tight game, whatever it is, I have seniors like him that are communicating all the things that we need to do. When I walk in, I have to stop them from talking, and it's always about hoops, which is great because when you have leadership within your team, it goes a long way as far as having a successful team and a successful program.
Andre, you want to talk on that a little bit more? What's going on at halftime, bro?
I mean, everyone wants to be like better. There's always stuff we can improve on, and we know that. And coach has been talking about it all year, full 36 minutes. So, we're going there. Even like last game, we were talking about it. We need another 18. So, and I know there's always guys stepping up and talking. So it's not even just the seniors, the juniors, the sophomore, and the freshmen. So it's not just seniors, it's everybody. And I know we all want to be better. So it's nothing that no one's yelling at each other, just telling like you got to do something. It's all team oriented and talking about what the team needs to do to work on.
So don't ask me why I noticed this, but I came to your Minot game. Coach Wilhelm knows where I'm going to go with this. But me and my good friend Matt Cavernum, we're sitting behind your guys' bench because we're good buddies with Willie. And it wasn't the best game for you guys at Minot High. So you guys go into half, you come out, and you changed your shoes. And I don't know why I noticed that, but I looked at my buddy Mac, and I'm like, dude, Dre changed his shoes. Tell us about that. What's going on? What's your shoe game like? It's because I heard it's big.
Yeah, I got a lot of basketball shoes, but
why'd you switch at half? What's going on?
It's always a I don't know. I've always kind of done it.
You've always switched your shoes at half.
If I'm not playing good in the first half, or I feel like I'm not playing like good, then I'll switch them. But it goes to the same thing for the next game. So if I have like a good game, and so I was like Cheyenne was our first game of the year. I wore some Kobe's, played good in them, so I wore them the next game. And then
what kind of Kobe's?
There were some Kobe 9s.
Okay.
So I just kept those. Yeah, wore them first game, played good. Wore them the second game.
Well, that was the first thing my wife asked. Didn't you wear the Bruce Lee's for the Man game?
Yeah, I did.
And then you didn't wear them for the next game?
Yeah, I mean.
First thing she said of the game, he's got to wear the Bruce Lee's for every game now.
Yeah, I wore them. Which game did I wear it? St. Mary's. Yeah,
was
I think
it
I wore
St.
St.
Mary's?
Mary's
That was
last
a couple good
yeah,
games
Yeah,
for
a
you.
couple games in a row. I know I have to leave them. Yeah, I try to wear my better shoes for better games, and if I'm playing good, I just kind of keeping those rolling. But if it's a bad half, I try to switch it up, try to switch something up. So
Your brother the same way?
yeah, he's
Yeah.
the same way.
That's
Yeah.
cool. I like that. I mean, it's nice to have a good shoe game because you can always switch it up.
Yeah, sometimes it's sometimes shoes get left out of the rotation, but
Yeah,
it's all
Look good, feel good, play good.
Yeah.
that's right. That's right. Andre, coming into this WDA, it's fantastic senior year, by the way. Congratulations.
appreciate it.
What is it going to take for you as a player to make sure this team makes it to the state tournament? Hey, folks, hope you are enjoying this episode. But support for Swim Lessons, the podcast, comes from Brandon Weber, your Edward Jones financial advisor at 1600 2nd Avenue Southeast, Minot, North Dakota. For more information, visit edwardjones.com. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Honestly, I feel like it's always team orientated, and I know like I got to do my job, but it's not even I know I don't have to go in tonight and score 30 for us to win. I know it's if I make the right plays and communicate on defense and we get stops and I'm getting to the paint and making the right passes, and I feel like that's all we got to do to win. I don't feel like I got to go out there and score 30 every night. I know I just got to do my job and set my teammates up and make sure everyone's like ready to go and not down on themselves even if they're not hitting open shots, because I want everyone shooting if they're open. I know we got a lot of shooters. I know we probably got the most shooters on the team in the state, so I want everybody shooting those wide open threes. I just got to make sure everyone's locked in on defense, so I don't feel like I got to do much.
Who's a team that you think is going to be right there if you had to pick?
I know Minot and Century would be ready to go. They're always locked in. Legacy was dialed for us last time, but always Century and Minot's always a crazy good game. So
Yeah, I mean, Coach Wilhelm, same thing to you. What's it going to take to get your team coaching wise? I know it helps that you live in Bismarck, but at the same time, so do two other teams. They're in this division. So you got to kind of cross that out. Minot, you played them a couple times. You've got Dickinson, who's decent. I mean, this thing is loaded, dude. And it doesn't matter who on any night. That's why everybody's tuning in. And before we hopped on, Andre, I was talking to Wilhelm. I'm like, dude, this is going to be so much fun. He's like, yeah, for you. Coaches, it's tough. We're sleepless nights. So as a coach, I mean, how are you preparing for this one?
It's the WDA tournament is such a ridiculous monster of a tournament, and I've been on every single part of the tournament you could be. I've been in the losers bracket side, working my way back around. Been in the winners bracket side where you lose Friday night and you got to play the turnaround game. Luckily for us now, in the last 5 years, we've been in that region finals game for the last 5 years, which is a lot easier when you get to just watch those teams and those playing games rather than playing those games. And honestly, for me, I was lucky enough to play in 4 WDA championships as a player. So I didn't even know what those playing games were like. Like I honestly didn't even think about it when I was a player. And then I came back in my first year on staff. We were in that 4-15 game or whatever it was. We're playing Minot to go to state. And you really get put in the pressure cooker. Like, what do these games look like? So I try and not think about those things. We don't talk about it a whole lot. And honestly, our focus is to try and improve every day. If you have a one-day mentality, if we can keep improving each day. And I really like this time of year too, because with the Super Bowl and then now with conference tournament play in college basketball starting to crank up, I like to listen to those post-game interviews. And I just remember one that sticks out to me. It was Julian Edelman the week of the Super Bowl, who won all those Super Bowls with the Patriots, talking about how even the week of the Super Bowl, trying to keep it as small as possible rather than have that big picture mentality like, holy, what happens if we win the Super Bowl? Or what happened if we make a state tournament? What if we win a state championship and all those things? If you can focus on the little things and control what you can control, as cliche as it sounds, and that coach talk, which you hear this time of year, sounds like, I think some people, like I mentioned earlier, kind of roll your eyes about, yeah, okay, one day at a time. But really, if you can just control what you can control, come to practice every day ready to compete. How much better can we get before tomorrow? How much better can we get before the Dickinson game on Tuesday? And keep that out of our brain. I think we're going to be that much more prepared. And it's going to be the same thing WDA week. Like, we're going to be competing at practice the WDA week. Early on in my career, we would really crank back. We'd dial back. We'd do a lot of walkthrough and shooting. And then we'd get to the tournament and we forgot how to compete. Like, we're going to keep running practice the normal way. We're going to stay committed at practice and getting after it. And once you get to the tournament, I know our guys are going to be ready. And when I have kids like him that have been through the fire and he's performed on that stage before, I know that our guys, once you get to that stage, that they're going to be ready to go because they've done it before, and they're going to compete during the game just like we do at practice. So it's just, we're going to continue to compete, and once we get to March, we'll see where it is, and whoever we're playing and whoever's in front of us, we're going to give it our best go.
Let's go.
Yep.
You ready to play now, Andre?
Of course,
That's
I'm
what,
excited.
I love it. I mean, Coach was talking about something there, Dre, that I want to ask you. Last year, you're in the championship game in WDA. You lose. Is that something this whole off season and now this season that's been in the back of your mind?
I mean, of course, every game we lose, I'm always thinking about that Cheyenne game, first round. I mean, of course, like it's always extra motivation, something to look forward to, something I've been looking forward to all season. But just like Coach said, I've just been taking it one day at a time, looking dialed in for the next game, whatever next team we have next. So Dickinson, just been ready for that. So.
Yeah, we'll be there for PSP Network. I'm excited to call you guys. Dre, you signed on to play at University of Mary. Congratulations.
I appreciate it.
Walk us through the recruiting process.
So they started talking to me, I think the end of my junior year a little bit.
Okay.
So, and then through the summer, they were almost at every one of my like live AAU tournament periods. So they were there watching almost every game. So I talked to them a lot. Went on a visit and kind of just walked through the school, talked about what kind of like stuff I would expect going there. And then I was there one day watching one of the girls' team camps because my cousin plays on Century. So I was there watching the girls' Century team camp. And Coach Nelson called me down to his office and kind of just talked about it. And then they offered me a scholarship.
Then and there.
Yeah.
How good of a feeling was that?
Yeah, of course. It felt good. It felt really good.
I gotta call my mom.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. As soon as I was done, I went up and told my parents, and yeah, I was definitely excited. I was super excited. Yeah. And then, I was later, a couple more tournaments this summer. It was like late July. I think I was in Chicago. I was kind of talking to it over my parents. It was like one of the last tournaments this July, and we just talked about like what I was looking for in a school, and obviously it's really close to home, right down the street from like not too far from where I live, maybe 10 minutes. So we talked about it. I like all the coaches. I like the coaches. I like the players that are going to be there. I like the way Nelson coaches his team. Like I liked all of it. Like I said again, love the location. Be able to watch my brother play basketball still. So we're in Chicago, and I texted him, and maybe Sunday, the last day I was in Chicago, and told him that I was ready to commit. So
that's
committed
awesome.
There. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, congratulations, bro.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
Coach Wilhelm, how big has Dre been for this program? As you've been here a while now, but he's been here the full 4 years with you to kind of build it up, and now hopefully you get more players like him.
Frankly, it makes my job easy when you have leaders like Andre and it's one thing. I've had so many different types of leaders that are guys that are leaders in the court. They're silent leaders. They're lead by example guys. And what Andre does are things that are tough to coach or tough to teach. And examples I have are like in the preseason, we have open gym twice a week. Well, he wants to do it 3 times a week. He wants to do it 4 times a week. He pushes me to try and expand and open things up more often for guys, and also getting guys to open gyms and holding guys accountable and sending stuff out into the group chat. And as soon as we start an open gym, well, so-and-so aren't here, they're not here. He's on the phone texting, where are you guys at, holding guys accountable.
That's huge.
Once eligibility terms hit, what do our grades look like? Like little things that usually a coach has to handle himself. Andre's on that. Like he's the one that's talking in the locker room and talking to his guys about expectations and where we need to be and setting high standards and high goals. I think a true testament to his character is when you are leading by example in a locker room. And I can't say it enough. He's one of the, if not the best that we've had here at BHS. And the cool thing that we've had over and over again is when him as a junior last year, watching Preston and Ty and Quinn and the guys that we had, Carter a season ago, the year before with Drew Hendrickson, playing as a freshman with Tracon Eaglestaff and Carter Sims and Kyler Scott and Ethan Stutz and the leaders we've had over the years, what happens is it's just a trickle-down effect. And when Andre sees the way that those guys lead and how accepting they were for him as a freshman and as a sophomore, because he played legit minutes as a freshman, he was an all-conference player as a sophomore, and then an all-stater as a junior, and not at one point, I don't think if you were to ask Andre, did he feel uncomfortable in that situation? Because he had leaders that accepted him, held him to a standard, taught him what it means to be a part of Bismarck High basketball. And now that he is in that leadership role, he's a 2-time unanimous selection for team captain. He was a captain as a junior, unanimous pick this year as a captain. He has now stepped into that leadership role and is doing the things that he saw before him and above and beyond. So our hope and our goal is that moving forward, this year's junior class responds and acts the way he did. This year's sophomore class, when they're put into that leadership role, and it just keeps going from there, because I think we have that culture built here right now that guys expect something, and once they're in those leadership roles, they're accepting, they know what to expect. They know how to act at practice, how to act away from practice. They know that when they go in public, when they're in a classroom, wherever they're at, they're no longer just Andre Austin. He's now a Bismarck Demon. And people in the community know who Andre Austin is. So however you're acting when you're at the mall, when you're in public, wherever it is, you now set yourself to a little bit higher standard. And our guys made that decision to be athletes. They'd made that decision to be basketball players, and they hold themselves to that standard.
Man, spot on. You mentioned a name there, and this was going to be brought up in this conversation. Either way, I'm going to ask both of you, but dude, we got to talk about Tracon Eaglestaff. I mean,
let's talk about it.
Blew up the state of North Dakota. The whole United States of America and the basketball country now knows who Tracon Eaglestaff is. Obviously, you two knew Trey before anybody basically did. I mean, you just talked about he was a senior when Trey was a freshman. But Coach, tell us about Tracon Eaglestaff, and when you're watching that game against Alabama, bro, this isn't NDSU, this is Alabama, and he lights them up, and the whole country goes nuts.
The funny thing is, I watched the whole first half at home, and then we had City League that night, a 9:15 game, and Andre was running the score clock for the game. So I show up for the game, I'm watching it on my phone. The game starts, I start the game. I think I check out 2 minutes later because him and Jager go, Willie, he just hit another three. So I quick check out, and I'm sitting on my phone, and then I got checked back in the game. And again, Jager, Andre, one of them go, he hits another one. So I literally checked myself out of the game. I sat the whole second half because I was watching that game on my phone. I don't miss Tracon's games really ever. I've seen probably 90% of the games he's played since he's been at UND. So like to watch him go from a freshman getting some time to starting half of the season to full-time as a sophomore, should have been all conference last year. I thought he got hosed. He should have been an all Summit League selection last year as a sophomore, but a huge sophomore season. And then taking that leadership role in that he's taken this year as a junior with BJ Omat taken off. And now he steps into that role where the basketball is in his hands. And he's averaging 19 a game. He's top 25 in the nation in scoring. Shooting 40+% from three. And I mean, even the other night against Denver, like throwing the team basically on his back and scoring 29 in a game. I mean, his shot making at all three levels, and to watch him do it on that stage against Alabama was pretty special. And talked to him that night actually, and just his response to it. And you could tell he called me right after the game when he was walking out to his car. And you could tell that he had like that coach talk on where he was doing all the interviews like, yep, we just got to keep working hard. We got to keep doing this and that. And I just felt his energy go from, I told him, you're trending on Twitter. What? You're a top 10 trender? No way. And then I told him all the people that had mentioned his name, and all of a sudden I could hear him clicking on his phone, checking his Twitter. So in live time, I got to kind of go through it with him, watching him go from, excited about it to, holy, what did I just do? Like, who's talking about me? Where is this thing going to go? So super proud of where he's come and what he has in front of him, and his story is just getting started.
Dre, what'd you think? Your former teammate, dude, blowing it up.
Dude, that was crazy. Oh, like you said, we were watching it on our phones while we're doing scoreboard. I don't know. I hope we weren't messing up on the scoreboard. But,
who cares at this point?
Yeah, no, I think we were both on it, and then the game beside us ended. So then some of our teammates came over, and there was like 6 people behind us watching it. We're all just talking about the game the whole time. I texted him right after, told him I was like, that's a insane game. I don't even remember. I texted him, and then he texted me back right away, and like we were just talking about it for a little bit. But it was insane to watch. Like he didn't even like some of the shots he was hitting. It was, dude, that was.
He looked like Steph Curry.
It was crazy.
6'6" Steph Curry.
6'6" Steph Curry. Like some of those, it wasn't even. You didn't even think about him, dude. The release was so quick.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we saw it firsthand when he was here. He had 52 points and 11 boards, 9 assists, and 6 steals against Century at their place when he was a senior. So we got to see it firsthand. He averaged 30 points a game. He's our all-time leading scorer, single season scorer, single game scorer. He's got like 9 records in the record book. So we got to watch it firsthand, but definitely to see him go from Tracon played freshman ball as a freshman. Like Andre played varsity as a freshman. Like Tracon was a late bloomer. And I mean, in him playing freshman ball, that's where he should have been. He had a good year as a freshman, and then him going from his freshman to sophomore season. I remember he came into a summer open gym, and all the coaches kind of look at each other like, holy cow, has he gotten better in the last few months? And then before we knew it, once we get to practice in November, it was instantly one of our best players. And he was an all-conference player as a sophomore, and then a 2-time first-team All-Stater moving forward. But I remember texting anyone that I could heading into his junior year. Then the next year, he's the best player in North Dakota right now. And the fact that he doesn't have a scholarship yet, or I remember emailing like 15 different colleges, like every single D1 in the area, just saying, get him on your radar because this kid's going to be special. And, The thing about Tracon is what he's done is every step of the way, he set goals for himself. Like as a sophomore, I want to play varsity. I remember him telling me before, I want to be a varsity player this year. Okay, what are you going to do to do that? As a junior, I want to be the best player in North Dakota. Okay, well, what are you going to do to do that and achieve that goal? I want to be Mr. Basketball. What are you going to do to achieve and do that? I want to play D1. I want to be a contributor. And now he's got some bigger goals in mind that we can allow him to speak about on his own in his own time, but he's got some big goals set for himself right now, which is pretty cool to see. And so far, I haven't seen him not achieve whatever he has put in front of him.
Man, what a special feeling it must be for both of you guys to see all that hard work that he put in behind the scenes here. I mean, I remember when I was coaching, we came here for a shoot around and he was in the gym with the gun, just taking shots. It was like 8 a.m. on a Saturday.
When I look back even on my career and I think about I used to think that, I was a hard worker and I put in the time. And when I see things that Andre does, when I see things that Tracon does, his little brother Kalik, like after games, if they don't have a good game, they're at the Y until midnight. When I get a text from Andre at midnight watching player tendencies on a team that we're playing, like I see so-and-so, they like to go left more than right. Like these are legit conversations that I have with guys like Andre and guys like Tracon when it's this 6 a.m. shooting, or can I get in at certain times to get shots up, or the extra time in the weight room. Like there's no, like, it's not by chance that guys like Andre and Tracon are having the success that they have. It's because of the work that they've put in. And obviously, are they talented young men? Of course, but it's the talent mixed with the hard work and the passion and all the extra stuff that really makes guys like Andre and Tracon special.
Andre, when you hear just what Coach Wilhelm said about former players here in Bismarck, like Tracon, and now you have the same ability to do that at UMary, what does that feel like?
I mean, it's always something to look forward to. That's the reason why. I mean, it's not necessarily the reason why I work hard, but it definitely helps motivate me. And like you said, I just want to be as the best player I could be, and like how the guys in front of me, just like how Trey did for me, motivates me to be a better player. I want to motivate other players behind me to work harder and just think about those times in practice, or those other times where I've like told them, like, you got to come to the gym, like you can't just stay home, like how you talked about earlier. Like I want that to hopefully they remember that and just like want to be better. And I hope I leave my own legacy and do my own thing. I'm excited for Mary next year. I think it's gonna be fun, but yeah, of course.
Well, you talked about your own legacy. I mean, what a better legacy to leave than even like win the WDA, but even make it to state. And because it's anybody's game. And I say this I just wrapped up one with Legacy this morning. I told them the same thing. I mean, it's really up in the air, but you as a player, how do you feel in going into this? Like, I know you got to put in a lot of work, but the work's been done. But it's like for you to lead this team, it's going to take a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I'm feeling pretty good.
You look good, buddy. I mean, your shot is phenomenal. I mean, and I say this, Mac Verdum and we went to the Minot game to watch both you guys, but I'm like, I want to watch Andre, because I know I talked to Willie a lot, and he's like, you got to watch this kid. You got to watch this kid. I'm trying to get college. I'm like, okay, he must be good, because when he talks about players, you got to listen. He told me about Trace, and I'm like, okay. So then he tells me about you. I'm like, okay. And then I see you in Minot, and I see you throughout this year. But I've also noticed like how you've progressed from your junior year to now this year, and it's been phenomenal. And what have you done to yourself to progress more? I
mean, I feel like I haven't done anything different than I have every year before that. It's been, I would say, instilled in me since I was like a young kid. There's always something you can improve on, and I don't feel like I'm doing anything special that's been anything different than what I've done years before. It's always just look at what I was good at last year, and all right, let's keep working on making those things better. And then what was I doing? What wasn't I doing as good? And just work on those things more. So this off season, obviously we put in a lot of work. I put in a lot of work with my brother. Makes it a lot easier when you got somebody there always with you pushing you.
A rebounder.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Heck yeah. Well, One thing I noticed too was your parents. They're always at every game. Your little brother. I mean, you guys are a very tight knit family. How does that feel?
Once again, make things a lot easier. More motivation. My dad's always on me about what things I could do better, and even if I feel like I've had a good game, there's always things I could work on. So he's always there helping me with that, and I want to hear what he has to say about it too. Like I know, like there's always stuff I could work on. I always want to be better. So it makes it easier when you got someone that wants what's best for you. At all times. So I know he's not just telling me stuff just to tell me stuff, and that he wants me to be better too. So makes things a lot easier too. So
Coach Wilhelm, what can we expect from the Demon offense during the tournament?
I think we've taken big strides this year over the last few weeks, especially as far as sharing the basketball. And I think our best teams, if you look back, the last time we were in the state semis was 2020. That team had 5 or 6 guys in double figures every night. And I think when we get to a point where you can get 4 or 5 or 6 guys in double figures on any given night, and it could be 4 or 5 or 6 different guys on any given night, I think that is really the DNA of a special team. And I think our depth of this team, 1 through 11, 1 through 12, I mean, we have guys that are in that 12, 13, 14 range right now that would be playing for us any other season. It's probably one of the most talented basketball teams that I've ever coached as far as basketball talent goes. Like, we got some hoopers on this team, which is fun because we've changed our offense a little bit. We've gone away from the dribble drive and a little bit more to a 5-out motion. And we've allowed them to have some creativity in the offense as far as different types of screens and different actions to get our shooters open. And then also trying to still maintain and provide space for guys like Andre and Weston to attack and create. And when your point guards are unselfish players like ours are, I think it leads to pretty special offensive nights. And we haven't shot the ball extremely well over the last few weeks, and we've still been winning games. So when those shots start falling, like they did the other night in Jamestown, you get some special nights like we had on Friday night. And I think Friday night, top to bottom for 36 minutes, it's not even close. It's without a doubt the best night that we've had, offensively and defensively. We shared the basketball. We shot the ball at a high rate. We defended at a high level. And the thing that I'm most proud of that I'd messaged the guys after the game, Thomas Newman, who's the leading scorer in the West region, averaging 24 points, had 2 against us on Friday.
What?
And I mean, just
Did you just shut him down?
the
Face guard?
We face guard him. We got after him. We ran guys at him. Like, it was
Yeah.
obviously our game plan to try and slow him up and shut him out. But in no world did I think we were going to hold him to 2.
Yeah.
So, 2 weeks removed from a game where Parker Falcon put up what felt like 60 on us. It's good to see that we're moving in the right direction, and our attention to detail and effort at practice has gone through the roof. And I really think that our guys are committed and they know what it's going to take. January's tough.
Yeah.
And that's another thing too. Like, January is just a rough month. Our guys haven't seen the sun since October.
Seriously.
Like, it's just an absolute grind. Basketball is not easy. And you come into the season with all these expectations and everyone's excited in December or November and December. And then all of a sudden January hits and you haven't seen the sun. You're really not sleeping very good. Everyone's a little bit crabby. Am I going to be in the rotation? Am I not in the rotation? What's going on? Coach is messing with me. It's just a weird dynamic. And then you hit February and you can start to see the light at the end of the tunnel. You start thinking about that tournament a little bit and you can just feel that shift to practice. And then us too, like I mentioned earlier, getting Weston back into the lineup now is another little jolt of energy for us. So our attention to detail at practice has been awesome. Their effort and work ethic, like, when your leaders in your program are the first ones diving on the floor for loose balls 2 minutes into a practice, you have a chance to do something special. So, what is our offense going to look like in March? I don't know what tangent I went on from that question.
No, you're good. That was awesome.
I do think that, we have potential to be as good as anyone. So we're excited about it. But like you said, that West region is a grind, man. So I know our guys are going to be prepared though, especially with the senior class like we have, that are going to get our guys ready to go.
Dre, what can we expect from you in this WDA tournament offensively?
I'm excited. I love playing at the Civic
Go
Center.
off. You got to go off one game, bro. You got to go off one game. Give us one Andre Austin game.
Yeah, I mean, last year I had a great time in the Civic Center. It was really fun. Shots were falling. Felt good. Big court. A lot of people. I love playing with big crowds. It's always way more fun. Always something to look forward to. I love it when there's like really loud and the team is super hyped and we're getting hyped after every timeout they call and everything. Like, it's just
Fans
exciting.
are calling you out
yeah.
for switching shoes.
Yeah, love that. love that. Yeah, no, I'm excited. I love playing at the Civic Center, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Are you gonna give us like a 30 piece? What can we expect? 20 piece? 20 piece, like a double double?
Yeah, I mean,
double?
we'll see. I mean, obviously, I just want to win. So I don't really care what I got to score, what I got to, like, how many assists I got to have, how many rebounds I got to have, how many points I got to have. As long as we win, I don't really care. So
yeah, well, I love it, man. I'm excited for on PSP and make sure everybody, if you're listening, to check out PSP on that PSP Plus. But Swim Lessons, a podcast about overcoming tough times. Coach Wilhelm, you've been on here once before, but leave us with something and what you say to yourself. You were just talking about how it's a grind. And what do you say to yourself to get through those grinds and kind of get out of that dark room and get to the light?
Well, first of all, yes, PSP Plus. Go
buy
pay for it. $30, whatever it is. I mean, I paid for it last year just to watch the post-game interviews and to support the PSP, like what you guys do for us in North Dakota and how many people I hear, like when PSP isn't doing a game like Friday night, how do I watch your Jamestown game now? PSP is not doing it and you have to direct them to Huddle Fan so they can watch it without it. And I mean, it's still great compared to what we had. Like I've never watched one of my high school games because they're probably on a VHS tape somewhere with dust on them in some back room. So go pay for it. Pay the $30. You won't regret it. You guys do an awesome job, and you guys deserve everything that's coming your way, because we love the
Nick
PSP Network. Yeah, he's the man. But like I said, the season's long. It's a grind, and you try and tell your guys every day to keep bringing it to practice, and to keep how much better can we get today? And you have your good days, you have your bad days, you have your ups and you have your downs. But if you can have that consistent mindset, and you can, whatever it is that you're doing, and especially for us, like in basketball, and it's hard when you have 14, 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old kids that walk into a gym. They just got done in geometry class, algebra 2, they got girlfriends, they got, stuff going on at home. We have kids with, their family members, and so many things going through your brain. And to be able to show up to practice and to compete every day, and to have that mentality, and to keep on grinding and to keep working, it's not an easy thing. And sports aren't pretty, and they're not pretty for a reason. But I know for me, the things that I learned as an athlete and the things that I learn now as a coach, the things I use in life, as a teacher, as a parent. So I just think that high school sports in particular can teach you so many things about life, and about hard work, and about commitment, and about putting your pride aside and being a part of something bigger. And it's not easy. I tell our guys that all the time. We get it. Like everybody, if we could play everybody 36 minutes a game, we would do it, but it's not what sports are about. And you got to be able to put your pride aside. So just anything that you're doing, being able to put that pride down and be able to put what you do aside in order to be a part of something bigger than yourself, I think is such a neat thing, and so specific to high school sports, that I'm just blessed and happy to be a part of.
Beautiful. Andre, same question, swim lessons. It's a podcast about overcoming tough times. What do you say yourself as a player, student athlete, to get over tough times, and leave us with a slogan maybe that you use in your life?
I mean, we always talk about it all the time, so it might seem overused, but one day at a time. So, of course, the school ball season is really long. There's always definitely some times where you just don't want to go to school, you don't want to go to practice, and it's a struggle getting there. But, it's the grind that I love about it. I love getting better every day, and I love being with my teammates every day. I wouldn't ask for anything else. I love it. I love school ball a lot more than AAU, even though however fun AAU is in traveling, there's nothing better than school ball. So, it's just about everything. It's just about pushing through it and keep working. So, that's all I got.
I love it. Hey, give us a quick plug where people can follow your basketball journey, whether it's
Instagram. My Instagram is andre.austin01, and that's pretty much all my social media is andre.austin01. So
cool. I'll have to give you a follow. Give us Coach Wilhelm, give us a quick plug for Demon basketball.
Yeah, man, we have a Twitter page, BHS Demon Hoops, where you can follow everything that we have going on. Coach Upton, my assistant, does a pretty good job keeping up on that. So if you want to follow scores, but our WDA website is so awesome. Compared to any other sport and anywhere that you see, being able to follow, Matt Mullally does such a good job, staying up to date on scores and box scores and following it and standings. He's just incredible at what he does. So we're very lucky and very blessed to have a guy like him that stays up to date on things. So just go to the WDA website. You can follow along there. PSP Network, you guys rock.
Yeah, heck yeah. Closing thoughts, Andre, as we shut down this interview, and your this will come out right before the WDA tournament. So what's your closing thoughts as your team goes in?
Definitely watch out. Got a lot of young guys. We got a lot of shooters. So
let's go.
I'm excited. Should be fun.
Coach Wilhelm, same question to you. Closing thoughts.
Yeah, we're going to be ready to go. I know our guys are going to be ready to go. I'm excited about it. We got guys that can score the basketball. We know that we have guys that can do some special things offensively. And what we've been pushing these guys towards all year is, can they really put it together every possession for 36 minutes? And when you start working as hard on the defensive side, when your commitment on that side is what it is on the offensive side, and you can put those things aside and you stop worrying about yourself, and your body language is good and everybody's in it together, whether you're the first guy off the bench or you're number 15 or 16 down at the end, when everybody is committed to the same goal, I think you can do some special things. So we're excited about it. The league is a grind. There's a lot of talented teams. I know everybody's saying the same things, but honestly, the teams that can do it the most consistently for 36 minutes, all those little teeny tiny things are the ones that have success. So hopefully it's us.
Well, listen, fellas, I greatly appreciate the time. Best of luck the rest of the way, and I can't wait to see you in the Civic Center.
You're the man.
Thank you. All right, that's a wrap.